The snow crunched underfoot as Leah Price stepped off the resort shuttle, her breath visible in the crisp morning air. Her journey had been long and wearying, a red-eye flight across continents, followed by a winding drive through the mountain pass strained by a fresh dusting of powder. Now, she found herself at the base of the sprawling White Ridge Resort, an illustrious designation renowned for its impeccable slopes and luxurious amenities. The kind of place where precision and polish were valued above all else. Dressed in a practical, faded parka and jeans, Leah appeared nondescript, a sharp contrast to the gleaming rental gear and high-fashion ski attire sported by patrons swarming the lodge. Her hair, still damp from transit, clung stubbornly to her forehead as she took in her new surroundings with a sense of quiet anticipation. As Leah approached the equipment check-in area, she noticed a ripple of interest among the resort staff. A few whispered glances and barely suppressed giggles hinted that her understated appearance was failing to impress. Among the employees was Jake, a particularly self-assured ski instructor, his jacket emblazoned with the resort's logo. Spotting Leah, he eyed her through mirrored aviators perched on his nose, a smirk playing at his lips. "Need some gear, ma'am?" Jake quipped, sizing her up with a hint of derision. Before she could respond, he tossed some well-worn gloves and a pair of scruffy boots her way. "Might not want to tackle the black diamonds with those today," he added with a laugh, making a sarcastic reference to the beginner-level slopes. Leah caught the gear smoothly, nodding to Jake with composed politeness. "Thank you, I'll take care of this," she replied softly yet determinedly, and turned away, not letting his condescension deter her. With the rental gear in hand, Leah moved through the bustling lodge, the subtle aroma of cedar and hot cocoa mingling in the air. The scene was a picturesque blend of cheerful patrons and staff performing their duties with a level of service befitting the resort's reputation. Leah blended seamlessly into the crowd, her steps purposeful despite the casual demeanor that Jake had misjudged. Instead of heading to the slopes, Leah made her way toward a discreet hallway marked "Staff Only." As she walked, the conversations of the patrons faded into the background, her mind focused on the task ahead. The door to the HR office swung open to reveal Mr. Carlson, the resort's seasoned general manager. He stood, gesturing warmly for Leah to enter. "Leah Price, in the flesh," Mr. Carlson said enthusiastically. "We've been anxiously awaiting your arrival. I trust your journey was smooth." "Eventful, but I made it," Leah replied with a smile, shaking off the morning's encounters. The office was lined with awards and ski paraphernalia, tokens of the resort's storied history. "This place is more impressive in person," she admitted, scanning the room. Mr. Carlson chuckled, settling into his chair. "We have a great team here, but we're thrilled to have someone of your caliber to lead the transformation. I hope your first tour has proven eventful," he added wryly, catching the dried remnants of snowflakes on Leah's parka. Leah returned the smile. "It was enlightening, met some of the team already," she said, omitting the specifics of her encounter with Jake. "I'm eager to start, get my hands into the details." Mr. Carlson leaned forward, resting his elbows on the polished mahogany desk. "Your expertise in modernizing resort operations, especially your work in integrating sustainability with profitability, is precisely what we need. The board is keen on seeing how you'll shape our future." "We'll achieve it together," Leah affirmed. "The potential here is immense, and maintaining the natural harmony of these mountains is vital. I look forward to aligning our operations with a forward-thinking vision." Her tone held the quiet authority of a leader ready to enact change. As Leah and Mr. Carlson finalized the remainder of her onboarding tasks, Jake was regaling his peers in the staff lounge with tales of his earlier encounter. "You should have seen her, looked like she'd barely made it out of bed this morning," he boasted, embellishing for effect. "I set her up with gear that matched her confidence, basically zero," he laughed, ignoring the quiet skepticism some of his colleagues bore. The laughter and light jabs towards Leah's expense were cut short by the arrival of a notification on everyone's work phones. It was the call for a mandatory staff meeting in the main lodge. Jake brushed off the alert with a nonchalant shrug, assuming it was nothing more than routine announcements or procedural updates. Must be announcing some new guest engagement scores or something, he surmised with a dismissive wave as the group made their way to the gathering area. Oblivious to the true purpose of the meeting, the resort staff, including Jake, filed into the large, warmly lit room. The heady mix of anticipation and casual conversation filled the space until the overhead speakers came alive with the sound of Mr. Carlson's voice, calling for everyone's attention. As the staff settled into an attentive silence, Leah, now adorned in a sleek blazer that had eluded visual perception beneath her parka, took her place at the podium beside Mr. Carlson. Jake, standing near the entrance, suddenly found himself at a loss for words as he recognized her, his eyes wide with a mix of incredulity and disbelief. Mr. Carlson's firm yet cordial voice resonated through the room. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for gathering here on such short notice. Today, it's my great pleasure to introduce your new Chief Executive Officer, Leah Price." The room erupted into respectful applause, the sound of hands clattering in unison filling the lodge. Leah graciously accepted the ovation, exchanging nods with various department heads scattered throughout the sea of faces. Jake stood frozen, his earlier bravado replaced by an uncomfortable heat rising to his cheeks. As whispers of Leah's accomplishment began to circulate among his fellow instructors, some recalling stories they had heard of her innovative approach in Europe, the realization hit Jake hard. He was embarrassed, not for being called out, but for having misjudged the person standing before them with such unfounded arrogance. Leah took a moment to let the applause settle before addressing her new team. Her voice, calm and confident, carried the weight of her experience and the optimism of new beginnings. "Thank you for the warm welcome. I understand this is a place of cherished history and great potential. Together, we'll harness that potential to not only enhance guest experiences but to respect and preserve the environment we call home." Her presence commanded attention and respect in a way that wasn't forceful but inviting, a stark contrast to the lopsided interactions she'd undergone earlier. Though she had entered as an outsider, Leah's authenticity and clear vision already began to weave her into the fabric of the community standing before her. Mr. Carlson concluded the meeting with a nod. "There's plenty of work ahead, but with Leah leading us, the best days of White Ridge Resort are yet to come. Let's get back to making this the unforgettable destination it's known to be." As the staff dispersed, conversations began to shift from standard operational advice to tentative excitement about changes on the horizon. However, amidst the rejuvenated energy, Jake lingered back, acutely aware of the lesson learned, not just about Leah's abrupt unveiling but about the perils of underestimating anyone based on appearances alone. In that brief moment of realization, the hierarchical stance of the resort seemed to ripple, acknowledging a new equilibrium brought forth by Leah's introduction. Jake knew his next encounter with Leah would be crucial. Either he'd adapt and grow or remain entrapped by his past prejudices. As the echoes of Mr. Carlson's closing words faded, the staff began to break into smaller groups. Excitement and curiosity about the changes promised filled the space left behind by the formalities of the meeting. Leah watched as pockets of employees buzzed with their impressions, sharing insights and speculations on what the future might hold under her leadership. Her gaze swept the room, assessing not only the physical space but also the palpable mood shift from skepticism to anticipation. Jake remained near the entrance, digesting the scene before him with a mix of bewilderment and humility. The realization that Leah, the very woman he had so glibly dismissed, now wielded such authority left him grappling with the nuances of this new dynamic. His bravado had evaporated, replaced by a more urgent task, reassessing his understanding not only of Leah but of himself within the larger context of the resort. Nearby, a senior instructor named Claire approached Leah, her demeanor one of professional respect tinged with genuine interest. "Leah, I just wanted to say welcome. My team and I have heard a lot about your work in Europe. It's exciting to have you here, Claire said, extending a hand warmly. Leah smiled, accepting the handshake with a firm yet friendly grip. Thank you, Claire. I've heard great things about this team as well. I'm eager to collaborate and see what we can achieve together. Her voice conveyed sincerity and openness, qualities not lost on those who watched the interaction. As Leah continued to engage with various department heads and staff, Mr. Carlson ushered Jake towards the CEO's office for a previously scheduled one-on-one meeting. The journey across the lodge felt elongated, every step accentuating Jake's internal quest for composure and redemption. He was acutely aware of the shift in perception others bore towards him following the details of his earlier encounter with Leah. Entering the office, Jake found Leah already seated behind the desk. Her posture was relaxed yet unmistakably authoritative, an emblem of the quiet strength she had become known for. The room, adorned with landscapes of alpine serenity, was a serene backdrop for what Jake imagined could be a tense exchange. Jake, Leah acknowledged with a polite nod as he took the seat opposite her. The air hung with anticipation, an unspoken invitation for him to express the unease lingering in his composure. Jake inhaled deeply, choosing his words with unprecedented care. Leah, I owe you an apology, he admitted, setting aside the last remnant of his earlier arrogance. I didn't know who you were, and more importantly, didn't treat you with the respect every person deserves. Leah's gaze was steady, her eyes offering a reflection of empathy rather than reprimand. We all make assumptions, Jake. What matters is how we learn and grow from them, she replied evenly. Jake nodded, the twinge of embarrassment tempered by the invitation to grow. Thank you. I'm committed to being better, and I hope to contribute positively to the team moving forward. The sincerity in his words resonated in the stillness of the room. Leah's expression softened, a small but genuine smile emerging. I appreciate your honesty. Everyone here has a role to play, and I'm counting on your experience and skills to make our vision a reality, Leah said, her tone firm yet encouraging. With the air cleared, the conversation shifted towards more pragmatic matters. Leah sought Jake's insights on team dynamics, slope conditions, and guest interactions. As they talked, a newfound respect began to build. Leah saw in Jake a willingness to adapt, while Jake came to appreciate Leah's depth of knowledge and her knack for strategic thinking. When Jake finally left the office, he carried with him not just a sense of relief but a renewed purpose, a resolution to forge his path within Leah's vision for the resort. Meanwhile, in the main lodge, conversations continued to evolve. Staff members were abuzz with tales of Leah's impressive track record, which Claire and other instructors eagerly shared with those unaware of her full background. The shift from idle gossip to constructive dialogue was tangible. The mocking comments of earlier had transformed into discussions about potential improvements and new initiatives. Among the employees, a palpable momentum was building. The staff meeting wasn't merely an introduction of a new leader, it was a catalyst for inspiration and change. Leah, after concluding several individual meetings with various department heads, ventured back into the heart of the lodge. Her walk through the space was marked with nods of respect and smiles from those she passed. It was clear her presence had begun, to every corner of the resort, what Mr. Carlson had hoped for, a recalibration of attitudes and an infusion of progressive enthusiasm. For Leah, it was more than mere acceptance into a new work environment. It was the learning of contours and characters that made up the living, breathing essence of the resort. Her stride exemplified an ease, harmonizing with the rhythmic pulse of the endeavor she had been entrusted with. In the ensuing days, Leah planned to implement new training programs, emphasizing sustainability and service excellence. Her commitment to an inclusive, innovative workplace was embraced by most, and challenged by some. Yet, with each exchange, Leah reaffirmed her leadership ethos, to foster a community built on respect and rejuvenation. As the hours of her first day drew to a close, Leah felt the rewarding fatigue of a day spent on essential groundwork, connections made, challenges confronted, and visions for tomorrow set into motion. The evening sun glinted off the snow-covered peaks, casting a golden light over White Ridge, a timely symbol of new beginnings and the promise of what lay ahead. The days that followed Leah's introductory meeting offered a mosaic of activities, each designed to systematically weave her vision into the fabric of White Ridge Resort. Every day was a step deeper into understanding the dynamics that governed this mountain retreat, and Leah navigated these interactions with a mix of strategic acumen and instinctive empathy. Leah's daily routine often began before dawn, as she believed in rising with the mountain's natural rhythms. She would quietly set out groups of staff, joining them during morning inspections, trail reports, and safety runs. These activities allowed Leah to assess employee styles, strengths, and weaknesses firsthand. Her approach was subtle yet revolutionary, focusing on building rapport through participation rather than directive authority. Her participative strategy slowly unveiled transformative results. Employees who might have previously perceived her only through the lens of hearsay now experienced Leah as a teammate forging ahead alongside them. Staff meetings once filled with rote procedural updates became fertile grounds for sharing insights, and it was clear that Leah was listening, adapting her strategies to the tangible needs and aspirations of her team. Mr. Carlson orchestrated a formal staff workshop to fully showcase Leah's comprehensive credentials. The event was held in the resort's main conference room, its walls adorned with floor-to-ceiling windows that provided panoramic views of the encompassing snow-laden peaks. As the gathered team watched the presentation unfold, the magnitude of Leah's experience was laid bare. Claire, introducing Leah at the workshop, recapped her astonishing achievements. In Europe, Leah spearheaded cohesive sustainability campaigns in high-altitude conditions comparable to our own. Her ventures in integrating eco-friendly technologies into resort infrastructures have been heralded globally. She has innovatively combined robust business practices with environmental stewardship in a transformational career journey. The tone of the room had long since pivoted from initial skepticism to genuine admiration. Many staff members whispered among themselves, clearly impressed by the accolades. Yet while Leah gained recognition from these notable accomplishments, she stayed attuned to how her team engaged with the work ahead. Amid the admiration, Leah cultivated a distinctive style of leadership founded on subtlety and shared direction. Her speeches to the staff underscored her core belief that true leadership did not derive from imposing will but from empowering potential. She revealed personal motivations, such as her love for the outdoors and a family lineage rich in environmental advocacy. Her parents, passionate conservationists, instilled within her from an early age a reverence for nature that permeated her every deed. Her choice of understated arrival at the resort was deliberate, a reflection of her belief in authenticity and observing untouched reactions from those around her. Explaining this in her initial days, Leah had noted, "The essence of character emerges when facades fall away. I wanted to see the true culture here, and I'm pleased with what I've observed. There's a depth here, a genuine reverence for both hospitality and our natural world." The mystery of Leah's travel-worn debut unraveled naturally as part of her approachable storytelling. Luggage restraints following her flight had been but a part of the jigsaw, but her choice to embrace the challenge set the foundation of rapport below overt layers of hierarchical structures. Leah's style intrigued her team and gradually dissolved entrenched power dynamics. Conversations routinely concluded with mutual smiles and the unspoken commitment to shared purpose, fostering an environment where potential grew unrestricted. Her brief yet precise speeches encouraged innovation and collaboration, ingraining new norms of teamwork across the resort. Leah's decision-making was transparent yet inclusive, asking for inputs while leveraging her rich expertise honed under diverse past environments. The balance she struck between leading and lesson learning earned her lasting trust amongst the staff, pragmatic respect that only genuine leaders inspire. Under Leah's tutelage, White Ridge's operations began merging efficiency with conscious sustainability. New measures included solar powering select facilities, optimizing water usage in snow production, and nurturing focused initiatives to better integrate environmentally sound principles into tourist experiences. Her grounded speeches on these topics were not only inspirational but actionable, drawing applause and acknowledgement from staff who appreciated her forward-thinking outlook. Behind Leah's unassuming presence thrived a mind that saw potential where others saw obstacles. It was this ability to translate vision into action, a rare blend of foresight with action, that fostered a new era at White Ridge. The staff's evolution mirrored their leader. Jake, who once epitomized casual disdain, had embarked upon a journey of personal growth inspired by Leah's examples of accountability and graciousness. His dedication to professional improvement saw him implementing Leah's methodologies in his lessons, garnering new respect from his peers. In many ways, Leah's presence inspired her team to redraw their perception and loyalty, her inclusive leadership style providing fertile ground for exploration and innovation. As the sun set on her early tenure, its last rays painted the surrounding peaks. Leah watched from her office window, recalling her first conversation with Mr. Carlson about the promise they had made, a commitment to guide the resort into an era where reverence for nature equaled luxury. Leah concluded her day with an empowering sentiment at an employee gathering, her words unwavering: "Together, there's no summit we can't reach." Our mountain guides us not only as backdrop but as an enduring beacon, a reminder to align with its essence and safeguard its serenity. In silence, those gathered reflected on the quiet strength that had swept the valleys and slopes of White Ridge, a testament not merely echoed, but wholeheartedly embraced. Leah understood the path ahead would bear complexities, yet she relished the challenge. With a trail marked by collaborative spirit, she and her team stood ready to redefine White Ridge into an emblem of excellence, one that harmonized aspiration with nature's enduring grace. With Leah's leadership firmly in place, the transition at White Ridge Resort continued. The newfound energy permeated every aspect of the resort's operations, reverberating through the staff and guests alike. As teams collaborated under her vision, efficiencies improved and guest satisfaction ratings soared, Leah's measures reaping both environmental and economic benefits. Jake, reflecting on his initial encounter with Leah, had undergone a transformation himself. The consequences of their first meeting, marked by embarrassment, had prompted a significant shift in his approach. Leah, addressing the HR team, had opted for a course that emphasized professional recalibration over punitive action. Jake was temporarily removed from frontline skiing instruction, sent to participate in a professional conduct refresher course, a lesson he embraced. Recognizing Leah's capacity for understanding and growth, Jake delved into the refresher sessions, discovering nuances in personal accountability and guest relationships. The course reshaped his attitude, imparting a perspective that not only respected team dynamics but elevated them. His journey from arrogance to awareness symbolized much of the broader transformation under Leah's leadership. As Jake reintegrated with the team, he carried a renewed commitment to service integrity, reflecting Leah's impact on his development. During a regular team meeting, he stood to address his colleagues, sharing his newfound insights. "We all have room to grow, and I've learned that collaboration and respect bring out the best in us, just as Leah embodies. I'm eager to apply these lessons moving forward." His sincere admission resonated, earning a chorus of nods and quiet applause. The shift was undeniable. Both Jake and the rest of the staff had embraced their roles not just as employees, but as part of a unified team with shared goals. As Leah solidified her influence, skepticism transformed into trust, cynicism into optimism. Her transparent management style empowered her team to voice concerns and suggestions, leading to tangible innovations across various departments. Employees at all levels flourished under her mentorship. The resort's seamless operation was a testament to their collective dedication. An example of this newfound synergy came when Leah announced an interdepartmental initiative to enhance guest experience. Immediate buzz went through the resort, Leah's leadership catalyzing creative proposals shortly thereafter. Inspired by Leah's open approach, Jake and Claire worked together to design experiential winter activities that intertwined with eco-education, turning skiing sessions into interactive adventures that emphasized conservation. Their initiatives received acclaim, marking a collaborative highlight supported by Leah's open-door policy. One crisp morning, Leah walked through the resort's main lodge wearing her customary blend of practicality and grace. Her presence struck a balance between approachable warmth and authoritative decisiveness. Staff greeted her with genuine smiles, heartfelt exchanges marking her path. As Leah passed the rental area, she caught sight of Jake assisting a group of beginner skiers, his approach now one of patience and encouragement, qualities Leah had hoped he'd discover within. Their eyes met briefly in the midst of his teaching, and Jake acknowledged Leah with a respectful nod, a small yet profound gesture of acknowledgement between them. Approaching her final destination, the conference room, Leah prepared to address her team ahead of the upcoming peak season. As she stood before her assembled colleagues, thoughts of the journey flooded her memory: the long flight, the snowstorm arrival, her initial meeting with Mr. Carlson, and the path unfurling since. "Thank you all," Leah began, her voice steady, "for embracing this journey together. White Ridge is not merely a place, it's the people and principles we cherish. We've come so far, and the spirit of our unity sets us apart. Continue nurturing this environment, one where ideas flourish and respect prevails." Her heartfelt remarks struck a chord within the room, empowering each individual to reflect on their contributions, not as singular actions, but as essential pieces in a cohesive mosaic of success. Leah's steadfast leadership ensured that each team member felt seen and valued, their voices blending harmoniously into a singular vision, one that honored the resort's natural identity while advancing its legacy. The once formal hierarchy had evolved into a symbiotic ecosystem, a living embodiment of Leah's belief in shared progression. As the meeting concluded, the atmosphere was buoyant, an electric buzz of anticipation preparing for the approaching high season. Leah lingered for conversations, embodying her perpetual willingness to listen and support. Having cultivated an inspiring environment and firm command, Leah's leadership exemplified the principle of empowerment over authority. As the staff dispersed, they carried with them the exhilaration of realized potential, invigorated by shared transformation at Leah's helm. Leah moved towards the lodge's exit, ready to embrace the pristine world that lay beyond the doors she'd reshaped. Along her path, she exchanged final words with Jake, a brief but sincere exchange acknowledging shared growth. His smile conveyed gratitude not only for personal lessons learned but for the broadened perspective on leadership and humility that Leah had imparted. As Leah exited the lodge, the fresh mountain air enveloped her, each breath a reminder of her purpose. She stood for a moment, gazing at the breathtaking vista, the snow-draped peaks standing sentinel over White Ridge, the sun dipping low as the sky transformed into a canvas of vibrant hues. Her walk across the resort grounds was marked by confidence and poise, footsteps echoing softly amid the winter silence. Leah Price had arrived more than just as CEO, she had become a transformative force, anchoring a legacy of growth, respect, and integrity. Closing this chapter with resolve, Leah knew that the journey only continued onward. Every word shared, every action executed reverberated beyond position, a collective endeavor forging the way ahead. Empowered by trust and vision, Leah and her team readied for all that lay beyond, and embracing the mountain's calling, she led White Ridge to new altitudes, one inspired step at a time.